Hi Libra. Okay, so I'm gonna start introducing myself again because I forget that there's like new people coming in, and there have been people calling me Amanda. I don't know why I keep mentioning it. I just think it's really funny. Um, I I don't know why I think it's so funny, but hi, my name's Amber. Hey Libras, what's going on? Returning as well as new people. What's up? I'm in the mountains. I have a winter house. I'm up here at the top of a mountain. The sun is setting. It's beautiful stuff. There's like a ridge of mountains that I can see out this balcony window. And there's a strip of red of sunset over them. I would turn it around and show you, but all the lighting and the blocking I've done would get messed up. But take my word for it. It's beautiful. So Libra, what's going on? I think we're okay. I think we're doing good. I think we are finding where we fit and what doesn't fit and throwing it out. Still on that path, right? Moving forward. Speaking up. Cutting out the fat, so to speak. So I'm going to start doing more of the planetary placements while we shuffle. I'm still going to do the anecdotal stuff here and there, but I feel like we should have a little more structure in terms of, you know, what is going on in the sky? How is it affecting what we're doing here? Because it's all tied together, right? It's all holographic. So it's important to have that insight. And there's a lot of people who aren't watching other videos and they're only watching these videos. And I feel like I owe it to you for you to know what's going on with your planets. If this is the only video you're going to watch, you know, you should have that information. So let's try to integrate that all together. Now, if you don't like it, or, you know, if you find it irritating, I know you'll let me know. So let me know and we'll tweak it. We'll figure it out. So getting into it, just because it is, maybe it's also because it's February and it is a big month in terms of planets. Like today's Chinese New Year. Happy New Year. I'm uploading all the videos at once, so you wouldn't know where you were in the placement, but I feel like people like knowing, so I'm going to tell you. So I did, what I've already done is Virgo, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius. I did all the mutable signs, and now I'm doing the cardinal signs, and I'm starting with you guys. So you are the first of the cardinals, and I think the reason it's important to do the planets, especially this month, is because we do have a Lunar New Year upon us. Like I said, Happy New Year. This is my New Year that I celebrate, actually. Big deal. I spent the night speaking with someone that I love very, very, very deeply. So I feel like I started the new year in a really beautiful way. So there's that. And so now let's talk about what's going on with you in terms of the planets, and we'll tie it all together with what comes up with the cards and what I've been thinking about for you guys in general. On the 4th, your ruler, Venus, comes into your 7th house of relationships. So there's this film that I learned about in college in a film class called Blow Up. It's an Italian film, I think. And that really sums up what's going to happen for you in terms of your relationships. You're gonna need to figure out, I mean, the way these cards have come up is so beautiful, like I have to show you. You're going to have to figure out if you're going to be her, which you can be when you're pissed, when you find out things you don't like and things aren't going the way you want, or are you going to be her and keep it together because of all you gain in terms of comfort? Blow up. Like I said, blow up. Does the actual film have anything to do with what's going on with you guys? No, it's actually no, it doesn't, not at all. But it, just the name of it, blow up, exclamation point. That's what's going on with you guys in terms of your emotions at the beginning of the month, because you're going to, how would I put it? you're going to figure out all these new things that you think are true in terms of, like, you're going to be doing a lot of this. I have deduced this. This is true. This is true. This is what I think is happening with this person. This is what I think is happening in this situation. And then in a few weeks, you're going to be like, oh, that doesn't look that way at all. Your scales, what I'm trying to tell you is your scales are going to be imbalanced by your ruler coming into your house of relationships. And you're going to think that love and money situations that aren't actually what you think they are, they're not what you think they are. You're going to rationalize things, and it's going to be like, you're going to be convinced at the beginning of the month, convinced that you know what's going on. And then this is going to set in a few weeks where you're like, oh, actually, no, that's not really that way. And what is the dichotomy, if there is one, that exists between the Queen of Swords and the Empress? It would be that one is based in the world of thought, right? And the other is based in the world of the sensual, which is the world of the feeling. This is usually an Earth female card, right? So is your mind right, or are your feelings right? Your mind's wrong this time. Just curb yourself at the beginning of the month because you're not thinking clearly. You got a lot, like way too much energy in that house, and you're just like, you know, lopsided. Oh, like a scale. These are the things that amuse me. You're going to be like this. You're going to be a little imbalanced, okay? So don't take everything that your beautiful mind is telling you for truth at the beginning of the month. Just hold off. Just easy. And then on the 8th, Mercury and the Sun in your 5th house. Well, that's love, right? And see, in this way, you'll all learn more about astrology, too. Because if you hear me say this stuff enough times, you're going to be like, oh, shit, I know what the 5th house is. I don't know why I think that all my viewers sound like that. That's how I sound when I watch YouTube videos. I'm a 5-year-old kid from Harlem when I do anything when I'm not on camera. Maybe I am here too, I don't know. Anyway, so Mercury and Sun in the 5th house. How do I put it? Yeah, it's love, but it's not the way you think. You're not happy. You don't have what you want. And you need a new way of approaching it. Because the way you've been approaching it is not working. You're kind of like, you know, there's this amazing qualities. Like I once had an argument with a Libra in public, which I like couldn't believe that a Libra was behaving that way. Like, can you imagine yourself like arguing with someone in public? You wouldn't, right? You wouldn't. But like there is something in you guys that like when a certain button is pushed, then this like very appropriate person who's always diplomatic and doesn't do stuff like this or that, then that person starts to behave in a way where you're like, are you doing the most? Oh my God, the Libra's doing the most. And I had this argument in public with a Libra where he started doing the most. He wasn't like, we were not in any way anything. He's like a friend of someone's. Don't you know, he lost it. He like completely lost it. And it was because the way he was wanting our friendship to work, or the way he was like, the way he was wanting his own relationship to work in relation to our friendship. Like there was a lot of things going on here, but what he wanted, he couldn't get it. He wasn't happy with what he had, but he couldn't approach it from a new way. And that's what Mercury and the Sun in the 5th house is going to make you do. It's going to make you take a situation that you really want to work out that's not working at all for you, and it's going to force you to look at it a different way. And when you're forced to look at things a different way, you guys get so mad. And it's funny to me because you guys never get mad. So when you get mad, it's like, this is odd and uncomfortable and kind of cute. Like, go ahead. Like, you know, be mad. You know, like how I said to Scorpio, okay, you want to be mad? Be mad. No, with you guys, it's like, yes, I am paying attention. Yeah, you are so right. You know, like, it's like, I'm just a party to your anger. Like, I'm not even trying to like rile you up or do anything. I'm just enjoying the fact that you're letting out some of what you usually keep in. So it's fine, but you will be asked to approach the way you look at love in a different way, and that will be irritating for you because you're like, no, but I like what I'm doing, and it's like, but what you're doing isn't working, and it's like, but I like No, you gotta look at it a different way. So then on the 11th, you have a lunar eclipse in your 11th house, which again, it's about like what I just said with the earlier aspect. It's what's not working. Who's worth it and who isn't? Who are you expending all this energy on who's just not paying you back with, there's no reciprocity there? And who is always there for you? Are you, Libras have a tendency to attach to people who don't give them what they need. It's like you feel like maybe you can, it's like an imbalanced situation excites you. It's like, something I can work on, you know, let me balance this out. No, like this is going to ask you to balance things out very honestly. Who are you giving too much to that just isn't giving enough back? You need to be able to discern that. And you are very discerning. You need to be able to do that this month and start to like loosen those ties a little. You don't need to cut them just yet. And I know that really scares you. There you come popping out of the deck with the knife. I'm not ready to use the knife. Don't say that. No, I'm not saying that. Not yet, but you know, you're getting there. And you're also going from Queen of Swords to Page of Swords, which is fantastic because this was a bit harsh and judgy at the beginning of the month, and you are going to be like that, and then you're going to like relax and be more chill as you're kind of forced to look at this thing in a different way. He ended up like storming off in Washington Square Park, like yelled at me and then stormed off. It was so dramatic. It was kind of awesome though. Like later I was like, yo, I'm proud of you. You know, standing up to me, I'm proud of you. Props. So then, let's see. On the 26th, all this stuff all at once. The Sun, Mercury, solar eclipse, all at the same time. And what does it bring you? It brings you momentum in a new direction. There's got to be a new direction here, Libra, in terms of love and in terms of money and the way that you're socializing. You know, this comes up in reverse, 3 of Cups in reverse. Like, there's got to be a new direction here. Your friendships, the way you're approaching love, the way you're approaching money, you are going to have these big realizations and you're just going to have to deal with them. You're going to have to be okay with the fact that things aren't the playbook, the guidebook that you have, the manual that you have of like, okay, this is how things work. It needs to be revised. Okay, so this is the period where you do that revision, and yes, there are going to be some extraneous social relationships that you will need to cut off, and that's why you have this sword, so you can do that stuff, right? But like I said, don't do anything at the beginning of the month because you don't really know what you're doing at the beginning of the month, right? And your cards were like sticking, and this is the bottom of the deck here, right, is the 3 of Swords. So I feel like none of these cards actually kind of wanted to come out. So you will really have to get dragged through this month, Libra. You're not at all happy about going through these understandings. But, you know, who do you love is a really good question. Because there's quite a lot in terms of your own identity that you're questioning here, and that heartbreak is still pretty fresh for you in a lot of ways. So who do you love and who do you put focus on, and do you put yourself first? All of these are questions now that begin to be answered, and I see that you will be putting yourself first, but I also see that your friendships and your social relationships are really ruling too much of your life and causing too much of an upheaval when it comes to this other work that you're trying to do, this inner work, which makes sense because our friends and our family are always trying to pull us back into our old programming. You know, they don't mean to. This just, everyone likes to put everybody in a box. And Libra's in a stage of life right now where you do need to have these new understandings, and you do need to be kind of bent into a new way of looking at things, a new approach towards things, so you can build momentum in that new way, right? That's how you're going to have money and love and all this other stuff come to you at once, but you can't do it from a place of, you know, being dragged. Right now, it's like some of you, I'm sure, are feeling like even putting yourself first is something you have to get dragged into doing. You're just not into it. You feel lethargic, you know, emotionally and financially. And it makes sense because, like I said, that ruler coming into your seventh house of relationships, you would think that that would be great, but it shines a light on things that can be very uncomfortable, especially for a sign that's used to living in their thoughts, which is not necessarily introspection. Don't get that wrong, Libra. Just because you live in your thoughts doesn't necessarily make you introspective. We can be just as delusional about ourselves as any other sign can be. Okay? So, who do you love? Yourself? The wrong people? The right people? Is your approach to love the problem, or is it the people themselves? This is a month of discernment for you. Not so much movement, but much more, in your head. A time for you to come up with new ways of looking at things. And of course you can do it. Of course you can do it. Okay? So it looks good. Let me know if you like the new setup and doing the planets and everything along with the cards. And, like I said, we'll tweak it. We'll figure out what works best for everyone and gets you the most info so you can have a fun month. Hair update. I'm totally letting my bangs grow out because whatever's been happening here in terms of these layers has been driving me crazy. So we're going to go for the long Pocahontas kind of thing. I can't believe I just did that. That's such cultural appropriate. That's so foul. Okay, and that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. This is my Disney upbringing. I meant a long kind of horsehair kind of thing. Let's go with that. Or just South Asian. I'm just going to grow my bangs out, okay? Since we have the hair conversation. All right, Libra, so I will see you next month. I love you guys.